Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sarah Myers channel. On Tuesday, July 16th, TCM will finally be getting its newest update. This update was delayed by a week, and I personally think that might be because it contains some big changes that are going to significantly change the pacing of most matches. Unlocking Grandpa perks is going to be reworked to no longer allow family to get access to the most useful Grandpa perks at level 1. Instead, each Grandpa perk will belong to one of 3 tiers, and each tier is tied to a Grandpa level. Perks like Exterior Alarms and No One Escapes Hell will only unlock when Grandpa is fed to level 3. And if you bring nothing but level 3 Grandpa perks, then all perks will unlock all at the same time once Grandpa hits that level. Most people only bring 1 or 2 Grandpa perks in order to focus on Grandpa as little as possible during the match, requiring them to only feed 1 or 2 levels to get the perks that they want. These changes will now prevent that, requiring family to sink more time into feeding Grandpa if they want to get the best benefits from it. Now, I've been asked what I think of these changes, and I have to say that I've never really been that much of a Grandpa feeder. In turn, I've actually never been too attached to Exterior Alarms or any Grandpa perk in particular. In most of my matches, Grandpa stays at level 0. You guys are free to disagree with me on this, but I personally think that feeding is just a massive distraction for family when going against a victim squad that is efficient and uses their time wisely. Victims will do everything they can to try and pull you away from your patrols and distract you, but a family that's dedicated to feeding is essentially distracting themselves. Rushing victim squads also don't really give you any time to feed, as they will be pushing objectives the second you turn your back on them to wander away to feed Grandpa. I've always maintained that it's better to just watch objectives as long as a victim squad is fully intact, and the only time I ever dump blood into Grandpa is when at least 2 victims are taken out of the game or confirmed to be in the basement away from objectives. Even then, it always feels like something happens the instant I turn my back to feed Grandpa if I'm playing against a genuinely good team. Now, that's not to say that Exterior Alarms doesn't have its benefits. It is by far one of the most powerful boons that you can give yourself in-game. However, I actually spent a lot of my time in TCM playing without it. I used to only play in a duo, and neither me nor my duo really had Exterior Alarms on either of our preferred builds or characters. If we ran into someone who had it, we'd both be like, whoa, we actually have Exterior Alarms this match, and we would enjoy the benefits of it. But it's not really something that I've ever been attached to or prioritized. You can always kind of tell when you're playing with someone that over-relies on Exterior Alarms, and I actually think that playing without Exterior can make you a better player. Playing without it forces you to keep a closer eye on your surroundings, which in turn can tighten up the rhythm of your patrols and teach you to be more aware of what's going on in the match without a big yellow highlight to help you out. It is definitely a very nice perk to have if you're at a point where the match is snowballing and victims have opened up multiple areas on the map though. Exterior Alarms can turn the tides of a game, so I can understand why people are apprehensive about having to dedicate more time to accessing it. I have always had an intense patrol-heavy playstyle, and I think this playstyle is going to be the new normal for teams that feel like they don't have time to feed Grandpa to level 3. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to lead to more tense gameplay or more boring gameplay. I'm sure we'll be seeing more family running blood builds if they really want to access better Grandpa perks. I've talked a lot about EA here, but I actually really enjoy having Suffocating Grip when I can get it. I have very tiny, weak hands, so it's pretty much impossible for me to win a close encounter without it. Suffocating Grip is going to be locked behind level 2, so I can see a lot of people trying to get it as quickly as possible with so much choose fighting going on in matches. For me personally, I'll probably just stick to my normal patrolling playstyle and leave the blood for someone else, but when I'm on Victim, you bet I'm going to be rolling out with Agitator. Before Gun announced the Grandpa changes, they also released a new edition of the Muerto Times. In it, there was a listed investigation into victim endurance. There's been a lot of posts throughout the community about endurance being bugged for victims, with a lot of people saying that points into endurance doesn't really matter once you begin to exceed 30 to 35. I'm not gonna lie, I did not believe that endurance was bugged for the longest time. Sometimes it even seems like it's better on some characters and worse on others. Regardless, victim stamina has always been pretty awful, and I don't think a little buff to the regeneration rate would negatively impact the game overall. If you dump a ton of points into endurance, you should absolutely get much better benefits from it than what you're getting right now. I'm not sure what changes they're going to make to endurance, and I haven't really seen any official news regarding it, but I'm sure any buff they make to victim stamina will be a welcome change. Also, they're finally going to fix those weird issues with the generator not playing any sounds after it's been turned on, and that crazy thing that's been happening with Maria's eye textures that makes her look like a zombie. I'm totally down for that too. It looks like basement door lighting might be returning to normal as well, so this is going to be a very nice update if all of this stuff makes it in. And I think that's just about everything I wanted to cover for the video. Please keep in mind, these are just my opinions that I've formed from my own perspective while playing the game. You're welcome to yell at me for not liking blood builds in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.